You know what? It's Friday. Let's have some fun. Let's play a game. Who would you bench? Who would you start? Who would you cut? Tim Duncan, David Robinson, or Victor Wembanyama?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Happy Friday. Welcome back to Locked On Spurs. You're in the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you all back. Hope you had a great day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Fun. Santa brought all the gifts that you wanted. So again, from us to y'all, happy holidays. What are we talking about today? We're going to get away from the X's and O's for a bit. We're going to get away from game day preview stuff like that. It's the holiday season. Let's have some fun, all right? So it's Friday. Might as well just kind of loosen our ties, if you will. And just have some fun right now. We're going to play a game. Start, bench, cut. Y'all know how that plays, right? You know, you get a couple of great players, you put them together, 3 of them, and you have to decide who you're going to start, who you're going to bench, who you're going to cut. Well, we got a tough one today. We're going to be playing that game with Tim Duncan, the Admiral, David Robinson, and Wembanyama. Yeah, we're going to dive into that. Who do we bench? Who do we start? Who do we cut? Coming up next. And if time permitting, we'll get into some Locked On Spurs fan comments. And don't forget to check out Game Time. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. And thank you for making Locked On Sports Network the #1 sports network in the nation. We appreciate that. So these are fun games, right? Yeah, it's a little break from the daily grind of the NBA season, the schedule. We're going to look at this game. I mean, this has got 2 legendary Spurs. Their names are hanging in the Frost Center. They're in the Hall of Fame. We got one guy that seemingly could be on the same path, and Victor Wembanyama doing some great things, right? But this is going to be a tough game. I couldn't do it alone. Actually, got to give him credit. The guest we're having on Friday pitched this idea to me, and I said, you know what? This works out. Let's go to bring in our guest, Mr. Rudy Campos from Box Score Studio. Follow him on X at Box Score Studio. You want to do that because they already teased kind of like, I guess, a trailer, if you will, for the documentary on Derek Irvin. Is that right?
Yeah, we teased the trailer on Derek Irvin's documentary. Scheduled tentatively already have been released on Christmas Day, so as of this recording, it should be out, but the only way to get it is on Box Sports Studio TV on YouTube.
All right, do that ASAP. More on that later. But again, Rudy, we appreciate you not only coming back this week, but also kind of pitching this idea to me. And I thought this was a great idea. You know, I even told you, I said, hey, look, it's the holidays. Let's have some fun. Let's get away from the season schedule for a day and dive into this tough topic. This is a really tough one because you have 3 phenomenal players, TD, Admiral, and Wemby. Doesn't get tougher than this. Bench, start, cut. This is a tough decision. Or is it? We're going to be revealing who we feel we should start, cut, and bench. But before we do that, you're looking at these 3 guys, and all, at least as of now, 2 of them were franchise. One of them is definitely franchise. Yes, he is. That being Victor Wembanyama. We start with Tim Duncan. I mean, this conversation could be short, Rudy. I mean, 5 titles. Brought the Spurs to NBA, dominance for how long? Over 2 decades. Yeah. He never lost more. Well, he always won more than 50 more games every time.
Never missed the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, the minus the lockout shortened game season because that didn't count. But yeah, I'm a perennial playoff player. In the Mount Rushmore, some field of NBA greats in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. I mean, Timmy did it all. What do you have to say about Tim Duncan?
Well, I mean, you're talking 5-time NBA champion, 3-time Finals MVP, 2-time MVP of the league, 15-time NBA All-Star. I mean, the 10-time All-NBA first team. I mean, the accolades speak for themselves. The accomplishments do. And again, never missed the playoffs. Could he be regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time? If you told me that to my face, I would shake your hand and say, I cannot disagree with you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to put him up there with the Michael Jordan talk and Abdul-Jabbar talk. People having him outside of the top 5, it's hard to have a conversation with him when it comes to GOAT talk because of what Timmy's been able to do on the court. So, yeah, I mean, Tim Duncan, definitely the greatest power forward of all time. Chances are probably the greatest player of all time.
Yeah, he is. And you get that debate about who dominated so much during his days, the 90s, early 2000s, was it Timmy, was it Shaq, was it Kobe? Yeah, there's a lot of that, but many people feel that it was Tim Duncan, and many feel that he gets underappreciated for the greatness that he brought to the court during his playing days. And then there's the Admiral, the guy who started it all. Well, the second guy that started it all for San Antonio. First was George Gervin, then became the Admiral. But he really took that torch from Gervin and took the Spurs to a different level. He was, in my opinion, he was the first true marketable franchise player the team ever had. Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. He was going on talk shows. He was going on David Letterman. He was featured in MC Hammer videos. I mean, the list goes on and on. So marketable. Was in movies as well. Yes, he was in a few movies. So, but aside from the off-court stuff, bringing that worldwide attention to San Antonio, NBA MVP, two-time NBA champ, carried the Spurs as much as he could by himself pre-Tim Duncan, scoring titles, 71 points in the game. He was the player that was beyond his years. You put him in today's NBA, and he's likely what Wemby is right now. He's likely what Giannis is right now, maybe even more so. First big man, at least in that era, to have more of a face-up game than a back to the basket game. Mm-hmm. And his mid-range was deadly, lethal. Your thoughts on 5-0?
Yeah, so David Robinson pretty much rewrote the center position when he got into the league, more guard oriented, if you could say. He could bring up the ball up court. Steals were, just another added addition to his game. Led the league in blocks. Just one of the better defenders the league had seen in a while. But the thing that a lot of people don't realize is he went from guys like Patrick Ewing, the low block players, to, again, a guy that could face up, similar to what Hakeem Olajuwon did. But Hakeem dominated in the low post, and then when David came into the league, it started to venture out a little bit more. Now you talk about today's game, I would throw him in the mix of more like a Giannis Antetokounmpo, because, again, David wasn't necessarily a beyond like 15, 20-foot jump shooter. Couldn't shoot the three ball very well, did make a few threes along his career, but, that's similar to what you see with Giannis today. So I would say Giannis is a great comparison to David Robinson. But again, a guy that came in and immediately made an impact on the Spurs and took him to the playoffs. Outside of Tim Duncan, before Tim Duncan, he was the first player to have the biggest turnaround, that the Spurs saw when he got here. So again, another great player. And these first two guys I've mentioned is just, it's hard to think anybody could be better than them, right? With the Spurs,
it is. It really is. It's tough, and I remember D-Rob, dropping the quad double, rare. Yeah, rare. He's only one of 4 players in NBA history to ever do that, and 2 of them were silver and black. Him and Alvin Robertson. Yeah, but with David in focus right now, the quad double, he was a monster on the boards. He was a monster defensively. Look, Wemby is great. He's a great defender. We all know that. But I dare y'all to look at some YouTube highlights of Robinson defensively. Holy smokes. There's a game where he had like 3 back-to-back blocks in a game.
Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, the Hornets. Yeah, the length, his speed, his athleticism. It's always interesting. I find out when he was drafted, how the Spurs brass did not see the offensive side coming. They all knew he was going to be a defensive beast, but everybody was shocked that how well he could put the ball in the basket. And you look at TD, you look at Duncan, and both came in men already. They already had the body. Duncan was a 4-year college player out of Wake Forest. Robinson, Naval Academy, skipped a year, wasn't it? Skipped a year after he got
he had a service commitment to the Naval Academy.
And then came on. So they were beyond NBA ready physically. They were ready to go. And you saw the stamp they made on the franchise. And now you look at Robinson, that is, and Duncan too, both now well into retirement, still helping out the San Antonio community. Then there's Victor Wembanyama, the current franchise player, the one player that the Spurs are building around right now. Still very, very young in his career. But again, having all the earmarks of becoming the next for the Spurs. And he is, for all intents and purposes, he is now. He is the Spurs franchise guy. But already in 3 years, he's NBA Rookie of the Year, an All-Star already. He had the streak of 101 blocks in a game until the recent game in San Antonio against the Thunder when it was snapped. Mm-hmm. The list goes on. And you talk about marketable. He is really becoming a very marketable player, and he's embracing it. That's what sets him apart off the court from the other two guys. Robinson was okay with it. He was cool with it. But Wemby takes that marketing of himself, the Spurs, the team, to another level. On the court, offensive powerhouse. On the defensive end, a beast, as we all know. What have you seen from the short time that Wemby's been in uniform?
With Wemby being a Spur in the short time, the only 2 years that we've had, maybe 2.5 years that we've seen of him, you've seen him change the style of basketball. I mean, again, you look at the height, 7'5", shooting beyond the arc, and people can make the case like myself, saying, "Well, you've never seen a guy shoot the ball like that." And I say, "Well, you've seen 7-footers, shoot the ball like that." But again, a guy of his height, yes, I understand he can shoot over people. Very difficult to block a shot when you're 7'5". He's shooting right around 33% for his career, in 3-point range. So again, it's that factor. It's the free throw factor. I mean, he's shooting at a really almost 80% for his career. That's really big. I mean, he does a lot of what you see from Timmy, what you saw from David. The part it is that he's a very good and more consistent perimeter shooter than we've seen between David and Tim. In the block, I still give Tim and David the check mark on that. But as far as beyond 20, 25 feet, it's going to be Victor. So you see a more evolved, basically, which is what you see. You see a dominant guy in the post with Victor, similar to the way Tim Duncan was. You see the guard play of what Robinson brought. It's almost as if they got Tim and David, put them on side by side, and they kind of created Victor Wembanyama. So you got that hybrid player. But so far, 2 years, man. I mean, you got a great look at him.
That's a great point you got there. Regarding Vic and who he is, like you said, like a melding of the two past franchise player athleticism, skill set, shooting. And I think that separates himself from the other two as how well he can shoot the ball, not just from the mid range, but from the 3 line as well.
Yeah.
Well, the tail of the tape has been set. Now it's time to get to business. After hearing all that, Spurs fans, who we're going to start, who we're going to bench, who we're going to cut. It'll be interesting. All right, coming up next, we're going to do that right here on Locked On Spurs. Let's talk about Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell or with your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood Protection Markets changes the game. It's people moving the action. So when the momentum shifts, you can move with it. Look, I always knew the game, but I never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. You play by play. You decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swap trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered future commissions merchant and swap firm. This season's heating up, and DoorDash has a way to keep fans in their bag the whole way through. Whether you're watching highlights, the tunnel fits, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes it the entire season so much fun. Because every player has their bag. With DoorDash, fans have one too. DoorDash keeps your snacks stocked, your gear fresh, your watch party vibes absolutely on point. There are nights when your team stresses you out, right? Let DoorDash become your post-game therapy. Sometimes you just need dessert, like now. Those late-night interview hits? Well, suddenly you need chips at midnight, right? DoorDash is built exactly for that. And if group chat says pull up, DoorDash makes sure you showed up prepared. Snacks, cups, even a phone charger for the friend who always at 2%. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever gets you through the season delivered right to your door. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. Thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. You already live your team every day. Now take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Spurs with no interruptions, members only, Discord access, and so much more, all for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Check the link in the show notes to learn more. And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Mr. Rudy Coppas of Box Scores Studio. We're here having some fun on this Friday. Having fun with the game of start, bench, and cut. Y'all know how that game is played. I don't need to repeat it, but we're going to have some fun. We're going to use Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and Victor Wembanyama as our subjects today. So Rudy and I really spoke ahead of the show, right? We kind of agree on our list. So should we show them the final list, Rudy?
Sure.
Are they ready? Are you ready? Yeah, they're ready. They're ready. Here we go. This is our start, bench, cut list between those three powerhouses in Spurs uniform. To start off with, we're starting Duncan. Let's start off with that. Rudy, that's just a no-brainer, right? You have to start Tim Duncan among those three, right?
It definitely is a no-brainer. Again, everything that Tim has accomplished in his career, regarded as the greatest power forward of all time, possibly one of the, or if the greatest player of basketball history. So you kind of go with Tim Duncan. Thinking about it, Jeff, there's a minute 0.00001 chance you could start David Robinson, but it's more because of the start of his career. He was brilliant at the start of his career, kind of fell off a little bit. Timmy always was consistent throughout his career, but nonetheless, yeah, Tim Duncan start.
Yeah, and I'm with you. You got to go with the big man, TD, number 21. He could do it all. And as much as he was dominant, he had minimal flaws in his game. Everybody pointed to the free throw shooting. I remember that. That was early in his career. Oh, he can't make free throws. Can't hack at Tim Duncan, but he fixed that up as the season went on. His career, went on. He could hit the long ball. He could. We saw that versus Phoenix in that thrilling playoff series in the early 2000s. We saw that a few times throughout his career. Wasn't as consistent, though. If it wasn't for 0.4, everybody, Derek Fisher's 0.4, Tim Duncan's shot would have lived in just infamy. Go back and watch the game. Tim Duncan hit this incredible shot, falling down, not even close to the paint, over Shaquille O'Neal, bucket. And then 0.4 happened. But, you start Tim Duncan, the leadership, the basketball IQ, how he had everybody in line. Everybody was in check when they were with him as a teammate there. So much of he was just a commanding presence on the court. So that's an obvious no-brainer. You start Tim Duncan. Really, we agreed, though. We benched David Robinson. Again, that's just another no-brainer. The athleticism. Would you say he had a better shot than Timmy?
Yes. Well, golly, that's a tough one. Because, if you're thinking about it, they similarly shot. I think Timmy shot 50% for his career. David shot 51% from his career. I want to say that. That's a good one, Jeff. I want to say David probably had a slighter advantage on a jump shot than Tim Duncan had. But it's like hair thin. I think it's hair thin.
Yeah. You having him Robinson off the bench. Obviously we're living in fantasy land right now, but again, there's no drop off. You still have a significant threat on both ends of the court. I go back to Tim Duncan, though. It's a shame he never won Defensive Player of the Year. How does that not happen, Rudy? How did that happen? I need answers right now, Rudy.
I have no idea. You're talking about a player that was a 8-time All-NBA defensive team player, 7-time second team. That's 15 years out of a 21 plus career that you don't get all defensive player of the year. Like, it's amazing that he never got it. It's a shame. It's a shock. Michael Jordan, regarded as the greatest player of all time, was kind of flawed on some defensive sides of the thing, and he still won Defensive Player of the Year. So there's players that have won it that probably shouldn't have won it. And it's just amazing that Tim never
Yeah.
wanted to play there.
Exactly. And by the way, real quick before we go back to Robinson, was he robbed of a quad dub in the finals?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, he was robbed of a
100%.
quad dub. Yeah, he was. Go back and watch the tape, everybody, versus the Pistons in that 37-game series. Duncan registered a quad double, and the NBA dropped the ball on that. But again, going back to Robinson, again, the intangibles, the leadership that you get off that bench. Again, no significant drop off. And these two guys already have NBA ready bodies. They were physical, they were strong. The only person I've ever seen that compared to Robinson's physique was Rudy Campos. I mean, that's it. I mean, Robinson was chiseled from marble.
I used to be able to do that. Yeah.
And for as much as Duncan was not as athletic as Robinson, he still got the job done. So again, we're starting Duncan, we're benching Robinson.
Can I say this? I'll say this real quick. This is going to make a case for both guys, and I guess fans may debate this and come at us for it. But the reason why those two guys are wanting to, in this list right now, also look at the first year turnaround. Now, David had the biggest turnaround for any franchise, in NBA history, and then Tim came along and did, when he came. Now, I get it that Tim came to a ready-made contender with David Robinson and, so-and-so. So I get that part. But for those that want to put Wemby over David came in and had a plus 30 something, games won for the San Antonio Spurs, where Wemby, I think they were 22 wins before him. They were 22 after him. And that's 71 games played in his rookie season. So that holds water with a lot of people when lists like this come out. Just saying that. I'm not saying don't, come at me for saying it. I'm just spitting facts there, as the kids say. That holds water.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. And then there's the decision we made. We got to cut Wemby. Again, nothing against him as a player, but when you have Duncan and Robinson on this list, it's hard to ignore that. You ain't gonna cut Robinson. You ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna cut Duncan. You're not. You're sorry. You're just not gonna do that. And I'm gonna give you my reasons why I decided to cut Wemby, and then you give me your reasons. And it had nothing to do with his skill set. Nothing to do with his skill set. We know what he can do.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about is longevity. His health. The most I know, and yes, Rudy and I, we understand his NBA career has just started. We're just in year 2.25?
Yeah,
point a quarter, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it's still early. But if we're making the decision today, on the day after Christmas, and this is what the decision that I was given, I have to cut Wemby. And again, I just say the biggest concern for me is his health. The blood clot came out of nowhere, freak thing, fine. But, we're already seeing how they're load managing him. We're seeing how they're minute managing him now. And who knows, maybe at the end of the season, he's going to ramp up to over 30 minutes and away we go. And he's going to make, us look bad and, really make a case to move up in this list. But as of this recording, the biggest issue for me is his health / longevity. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be his health. It's going to be his longevity. And I know it's only 2 years into, his second or third NBA season. It's people meant to do his third NBA season is what I'm trying to get at here. It's longevity. It's, it's health. It's a lot of little things, but it's not enough to say, well, Victor is, 10, 12, 20 feet away from these guys. It's nothing like that at all. I mean, he's relatively close. When you look at stats, I mean, a lot of people like to look at stats and all this stuff. When you look at stats, Jeff, look at the first 2 years of each person's career, and you're thinking, okay, well, we can't take Duncan off. There's no way. So we're gonna compare David Robinson and say you've got to take Wemby over David Robinson. Look at the stats. Robinson's rookie season was 24 points, 12 rebounds, almost 4 blocks, 3.9 blocks a game, 1.7 steals a game. That's his rookie season, where Victor had 21, averaged 10 rebounds. He had averaged almost 4 assists, almost 4 blocks, and 1.2 steals a game. Very similar with the exception of rebounds, points per game. Wemby's second year, he improved. Robinson jumped up to 25 and 13, still averaging almost 4 blocks a game like Wemby. So if you want to go stats, first 2 years, David had, better stats. Yes, he didn't shoot the 3 ball. Come on, give me a break for those out there. I know he didn't shoot the 3 ball, but games played. Robinson played 82 games in that second year. He played 82 games that first year. So again, the longevity is the other part. Now, when it comes to the Wemby factor, yes, it's sad that you've got to cut him between these two guys, but there's more reasons to keep Tim and David, and there's more reasons to cut Wemby. It's no disrespect at all. It's a fun game to play, but in the long run, I mean, we haven't seen enough out of Wemby yet to say, hey, we're going to take you over these two guys. And then when it's all said and done, Jeff, the careers are side by side, all three of them. We may have this debate again at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it is a little premature to add Wemby to this list, but you mentioned right now what Robinson and Duncan did around this time as Wemby is. It was different. It leans towards TD and Admiral, and again the availability, the
best ability is availability.
Yeah, exactly. All that good stuff there. I asked a fan before the show started, who you gonna start, cut, bench. This was interesting. Again, no brainer. The fan said you start Tim Duncan. All right. Here we go. This fan said they would bench Wemby and cut David Robinson. Your thoughts?
My first thought is, how old is the fan? I mean, if you're a younger generation fan, of course you're gonna bench Wemby and cut Robinson. You've never seen a player like David Robinson. I mean, for all of us that have grown up, we're not disrespecting Wemby at all. I mean, if you want to bench Wemby and if you want to start Wemby and bench Duncan, cut Robinson, that is your list. That's what I've always preached a million times on every show that I've done. It's your list. I'm not going to argue with your list, but what I'm going to say is, for that sense, hey, you're cutting David Robinson. I mean, you're cutting arguably, can you say probably one of the top 6-7 centers to ever play the game? I mean, a guy that literally revolutionized the position before, the first game was even played. I mean, he was doing it, preseason? I mean, he came in that first game and you were like, this is David Robinson. We are getting this guy for years upon years. I mean, the impact that he had right away, that's a lot to be said. So my first reaction is, how old is he? If he's an older guy, then okay. I mean, again, your opinion's your opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is always going to be a debate, and we'll love to revisit this. As soon as Wemby gets more years under his belt. But as of right now, I think that's probably the best bet to go. And again, it's not completely fair to Wemby because he hasn't had the full career yet. But if we're playing this game today, that's what we would pick. All right, well, what y'all think about this? Who would you start? Who would you bench? Who would you cut? Let us know on X at Jeff G Spurzo. Let Rudy know on X at Box Spurs Studio. When we get back, we got time for one Locked On Spurs fan comment. Let's do that. Coming up next right here on Locked On Spurs. During basketball seasons, there's nothing like being in the building, the energy, the crowd, the first big run that gets everyone on their feet. Fans want to be there for those moments, not stuck refreshing screens or guessing for what tickets are really going to cost. That's where Game Time comes in. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage back, making it incredibly easy to score amazing tickets fast, simple, and without the guesswork. Browsing the Game Time app is straightforward and intuitive. Finding tickets takes just a few steps. See the views from your seat before buying, making choosing tickets easy and confident. Prices include fees up front, and the total is clear from start. Features like zone deals to help unlock great seats and even better value. Whether it's an NBA game or another live event, everything is right there in one place. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA. That's LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time app today. Get in on the action. We're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Mr. Rudy Campos of Box Score Studio. More on that later. All right, it's time to get into some Locked On Spurs fan comments, or today comment. So we're going to react to this, the last episode of Locked On Spurs, where we asked the question, Rudy, are the NBA final contenders today, this season? wrapped it up by saying they already beaten the best of the best. They beat the Thunder twice. They beat the Nuggets. They beat the Magic. They beat the Rockets. The list goes on and on and on. You know, the streaks, the minimal losing skids, 2 games. That's it. So everything's great for the Spurs. So this is where the fans come in. So this is the fans are kind of mixed right now. Some feel like, yes, for sure. They're title contenders now. Not next season, not the season after that, but right now.
Okay.
And the first comment is, and we'll get your thoughts on this topic too.
Sure.
Is from, hang on, let me get a good one here. Here it is. Okay, he goes. This is from at Glotaku. Says, I'm more afraid of those 2 teams, meaning Warriors and Suns, than the Nuggets, Rockets, and Lakers, definitely more than the Wolves. So he's reacting to the fact that the Spurs still haven't proven themselves against a battle-hardened Warriors team and a Suns team that pretty much whooped them this season. Your thoughts?
I'm not so much worried about the Phoenix Suns. I mean, again, you just had a couple of games with a full entire Spurs roster, and you're just getting a glimpse of it. So I'm not worried about Phoenix. I think by most recent videos, you're kind of seeing the implosion of the Golden State Warriors. So again, another team that I'm really not too worried about. I am worried about a team like Oklahoma City. I am worried about a team like the Denver Nuggets, 2 of the 2 teams that have won the title in the past couple of years and are continuing to be dominant, you know, regardless of what the Spurs accomplish. So those are 2 teams that I really am, you know, worried about. I'm worried about the New York Knicks in the East. I mean, you saw what happened at the NBA Cup. So there are teams that are battle tested compared to San Antonio. And I'll say this, as far as, you know, the title contender thing goes, you've got to see how they look in the playoffs before you can even discuss title contenders. Yes, everything you accomplish in the season, it's all bread and butter. It's all fantastic. It's great. It's awesome. It's excitement. But it's a different world in the NBA playoffs. You're battling the team for a minimum of 4 games. You've got to win 4 out of 7 games. You know, coaches this is where they make their money. This is where they make their legacy, because they are there to make coaching changes, to make style changes and stuff like that. So I would say title contenders, if you want to talk season wise, it's still relatively early in the season. But again, yes, they're contenders for a top seed in the West. I'll say that much. I won't say title contender until we see this team in the playoffs, because it's a whole new ballgame in the playoffs.
Mitch Johnson, after the win versus the Thunder in San Antonio, said that it's way too soon to be talking playoffs, that the team hadn't played even 30 games yet. But nevertheless, this team has the makings of being that title contender at the end of the day. If they're on the pace that they're on right now, the track that they're on right now, they're a complete team. This team is built. It looks like it's built to beat the Thunder. It's like it's built to handle most type of NBA defenses and offenses. We shall see. That's a great comment there. We appreciate it. So we're up against it, but we got to let y'all go. Rudy, tell us about Box Score.
Yeah, so Box Score Studio, if you go to YouTube, it's Box Score Studio TV. Hit that subscribe button. We just released the Derek Irvin story. If y'all guys don't know, Derek Irvin is his brother, George Griffin. He has a fascinating story, and it's a 4 or 5 part series that's going to be coming out on Box Score Studio TV on YouTube. Be sure to check it out. He talks about his life in Detroit, NBA career that was cut short by somewhat of his own doing with the Sixers. Also, you know, his NBA career with the New Jersey Nets at the time, and then overseas, becoming probably close to what Michael Jordan was in the NBA. If you don't want to miss it, be sure to go to Box Score Studio TV. Hit that subscribe button so you can watch the Derek Irvin story. It's exclusive on there. Can't get it anywhere else.
I already saw the trailer. You should go check it out. It's really, really good. Really did a phenomenal job. His whole cast and crew, everybody did a great job. So go check it out right now. Again, follow him on X at Box Score Studio. We'll be back next week as the Spurs season continues. We'll get back on track, talk about the regular season, wins and losses, all that good stuff. Just figure to have a fun day today. And let us know what you think about this topic today at Box Score Studio and at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Thanks for making Locked On Sports Network the #1 network in the nation. And subscribe to Locked On Spurs wherever you get your favorite podcast. So for Rudy Campos, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.